We always knew Ella was special from the moment we brought her home from that dusty orphanage in a country I won't name because it still hurts to think about the chaos there. Bombs falling, kids crying in the streets, and Ella just this tiny 2-year-old with big brown eyes, clutching a ragged doll like it was her whole world. My husband, Jake, and I had tried for years to have a baby doctor's appointments, fertility clinics. The works, nothing worked. Then we saw Ella's picture on the adoption agency website, and something just clicked. We flew halfway around the world, filled out mountains of paperwork, and finally held her in our arms on a rainy Tuesday that felt like the sun came out for the first time in forever. The flight back was a nightmare. Ella screamed the whole way, terrified of the plane, the noise, the strangers. But when we landed in Chicago and stepped into our little house in the suburbs, she looked around like she couldn't believe this was real. Jake carried her to the nursery weed, painted yellow with little cloud decals on the walls, and she touched the crib like it was made of gold. That first night she wouldn't sleep unless I rocked her for hours, humming every lullaby I knew. By morning, my arms ached. But my heart was full. We named her Ella Grace, after my grandmother and Jake's mom, both gone too soon. It just fit. The early years were a whirlwind of first steps in our backyard grass, staining her knees. First words, mama, then dada, then cookie, which made us laugh because, of course, that's what she picked up from the TV shows we let her watch while I cooked dinner. Ella was a firecracker, always climbing everything, the couch, the stairs, the dog. Poor Max, our golden retriever, just sighed and let her use him as a pony. She had this laugh that could light up the darkest day, and Jake said she got it from me, but I think it was all her own. We enrolled her in preschool at 3, and the teachers loved her. She made friends easy, shared her snacks, drew pictures that looked like abstract art, but she swore, "We're our family, me, Jake, Ella, and Max, all stick figures." With huge smiles, life felt perfect, or as perfect as it gets when you're raising a kid who's been through hell before she could even talk. Fast forward to Ella at 12. She's this tall, lanky girl with long dark hair. She braids herself now, and a passion for soccer. She's on the travel team, practices 3 nights a week, games on weekends. Jake coaches sometimes, and I bring the orange slices and cheer louder than anyone. She's good. 2 scored the winning goal in the championship last spring. The whole team lifted her up like she was a hero. That summer we noticed she was getting these weird rashes after eating certain foods. Peanuts made her throat itch. Strawberries gave her hives. We took her to the allergist, Dr. Patel, a kind Indian lady with a soft voice who ran tests, blood draws, skin pricks, the whole deal. Ella hated needles, cried every time, but held my hand tight. A week later, Dr. Patel called us in, not just Ella, me, and Jake. 2, she sat us down in her office, posters of immune systems on the walls, and said, "There's something odd here. Ella's blood work shows markers for a hereditary condition, alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. It's rare, genetic, passed from parents, but according to the adoption files you provided, neither you nor the birth mother carry the gene." I felt the room spin. Jake grabbed my hand. "What do you mean?" Dr. Patel explained. "Sometimes in international adoptions, records get mixed up, especially in crisis zones. But this looks like more than a paperwork error." She suggested a full DNA panel to confirm relations. We nodded numbly, paid the extra fees, and waited. 2 weeks later, the results came back via email. I opened it in the kitchen while Ella was at school, Jake at work, the subject line, genetic, ancestry, and relation report. My heart pounded as I scrolled. No shared DNA with me or Jake, 0% match with the surrogate or birth mother listed in the files. The agency had given us a switch. The word screamed in my head. But how when the orphanage was a war zone, babies evacuated in buses under gunfire. I called Jake. He left work early, came home white as a ghost. We sat at the table, staring at the screen. The report said Ella's biological parents were likely Caucasian European descent, not the Middle Eastern profile in her file. The other child, the one who'd been sent to us by mistake, had died in transit. Complications from the journey, exposure, illness, who knows? The agency covered it up to avoid scandal. We contacted them, demanded answers. The director, a slick guy named Mr. Harlan, said he'd look into it, called back days. Later, yes, there was a mix-up during evacuation. 2 girls, similar age, similar look. One survived, one didn't. Ella's bio, parents had adopted out their baby through a different channel, but wires crossed. In the chaos, they gave us a name, Noah, adopted by a couple in Switzerland, wealthy tech mogul, and his wife. We found their social media, perfect. Family photos, Noah, blonde, curly hair, blue eyes, smiling in front of Alps, ski trips, yachts, the works. I messaged them, "Hi, I'm Sarah. This is going to sound crazy, but I think our kids were switched at birth." During the evacuation, here's the DNA proof silence. For days then, a reply from the wife, Elena. "We need to talk, but not like this. Can we video call?" The call was awkward. At first, Elena beautiful. Blonde, perfect makeup, her husband. Victor stoic in the background. Big modern house behind them, bookshelves. Art, we explained the DNA, the agency, the death of the other child. Elena teared up. Victor put a hand on her shoulder. They said they'd noticed inconsistencies to Noah's blood type. Didn't match theirs, but they thought adoption records error. Then a year ago, Noah started having breathing issues, took him to specialists. Here in Geneva, same condition, Alpha 1, they did DNA. Then and realized he wasn't theirs. But the agency swore it was a fluke, they loved him too. Much to disrupt his life. Then Elena started crying harder. We should have reached out sooner. But then the fire, Victor's face crumpled, the house fire, faulty wiring. In the old chalet they were renovating, ignored warnings from inspectors, too busy. With work travel left Noah with a nanny one night, sparks in the walls, smoke alarms. Failed by the time anyone noticed. Noah gone, inhaled too much smoke, lungs already. Weak from the condition, he didn't make it. They buried him in a cemetery overlooking the lake, mourned in silence. Then we contacted them and they saw our Ella as Noah the second chance. Biology demanded we share medical history, at least meet her, let her know her roots, but their eyes said more. They wanted her back. Jake ended the call, abruptly said, "We need time." They emailed apologies. Promises to fly to Chicago, meet in person. Talk it through, we agreed, neutral. Ground a hotel, conference room, Ella at a friend's house. Thinking we were at a work thing, they showed up, Elena in designer clothes, eyes red, Victor carrying a folder, photos of Noah, baby pictures. Birthdays, everything we never had of Ella as their bio kid. Elena slid a picture across the table, Noah at 2, same eyes, same smile as Ella. It hit me like a truck. This was our daughter, the one who should have been ours. They said they'd known for a year before the fire, kept quiet. Because Noah was happy then after they grieved, but biology, it's powerful. Victor said we have rights international. Law recognizes bio parents. Even in switches, we can petition for custody, gradual at first visits, then shared, then maybe primary. They had lawyers already, top firm in Zurich. We sat there stunned. Jake said, "Over my dead body." Elena cried, "Please, she's all we have left of him." We left the room shaking, called our lawyer Liz, a shark in family law who'd handled adoptions before. She said, "This is a nightmare, international jurisdiction. 2 countries, 2 sets of laws, but USA courts favor stability, the child who's been with you 10 years, but money talks and they have it." The letters started demands for visitation, supervised at first, then more. Victor flew to Chicago alone. Showed up at Ella's soccer game, sat in the stands. I saw him, tall, blonde. Watching her every move, Ella scored, waved at me, not knowing he was there. He approached. After said, "Hi, am a friend of the agency, wanted to see how she's doing." Jake lost it, grabbed his arm. "Get away from my daughter, security." Escorted him out. But the damage done, Ella asked who the creepy guy was. We said nobody important, but she sensed the tension, stopped. Sleeping well, nightmares of fires, people taking her away. We hired a Derek, ex-cop, built like a tank. He dug into Victor and Elena business dealings. Victor, CEO of a crypto firm, shady investments, lawsuits from partners, Elena on boards of charities. But rumors of affairs, neglect of Noah before the fire, nannies raising him more than parents. Derek found building inspection reports, the chalet wired wrong. Victor ignored multiple citations to save costs. The fire marshal ruled accidental, but notes suggested negligence. We had ammo, but they had money. Lawyers flying in, experts, psychologists saying bio bonds matter, even late court filings started in Illinois. They petitioned for recognition of parental rights. We countersued for full custody. Termination based on abandonment. Negligence, the judge, a no-nonsense woman judge. Harper ordered evaluation, home studies. Psych evals for everyone, including Ella. We sat her down one night after dinner, ice cream to soften it. "Honey, there's something we need to tell you about when you were little." Ella looked up, chocolate on her lip. "The hospital where you were born made a big mistake, switched you with another baby. We thought you were ours by papers, but DNA says the other way, but that doesn't change anything. You're our daughter forever." She stared, then asked, "Does that mean I have other parents?" "Yeah, but they live far away and we love you more than anything." She nodded, slow, then asked, Will they take me? No baby never, Jake hugged. Her tight but her eyes scared. We practiced. With the psychologist, Dr. Miles, how to expand the truth age. Appropriate, no details of the fire yet, just mistake. And love the evaluator. Marcus came to our house first. Watched Ella do homework, play with. Max asked her questions. Do you feel safe here? Who tucks? You and who helps with homework? Ella said mom and dad always. Then to their house, a mansion. Rented in Winnetka, modern art marble floors. Elena showed Marcus Noah's room. Still intact toys on the bed like a shrine. Victor talked. Business success providing for a child. Marcus noted in report opulence, but emotional distance. Ella met them once supervised at a park. Ella shy held my hand. They brought gifts, a soccer ball. Designer cleats. Ella said thank you, but whispered to me they smell funny like fancy perfume, not like home after. She cried in the car, didn't want to go. Again, Marcus saw it all. Derek kept digging, found emails Victor to lawyers before the fire discussing giving Noah up if the switch confirmed. Too messy for image, but after death flipped. To must have the girl Elena's. Medical records post-fire depression. Meds attempts to get pregnant again failed then. Fixation on Ella as replacement. We submitted everything. Liz built the case. Stability, love versus wealth, grief, negligence. Judge Harper read reports, heard. Testimony. Ella took the stand in chambers, just her, the judge. Marcus, she said, I love my mom and dad. They come to games, read me stories when I'm sick. These people are strangers. I don't want to leave my house, my dog, my friends. Tears running. The judge handed her tissues. Said, thank you, sweetie. Victor and Elena testified. Elena sobbed. We lost our son. She's his blood, please. Victor said we can give her opportunities. Travel schools, but cross-exam. Liz tore them apart. The ignored warnings, the nannies, the emails. The judge looked grim then. The fire report came in official negligence. Citation, Victor fined, but no charges because Swiss laws lenient on accidents. But here in USA, child endangerment vibes. The DA in Chicago even looked at extradition, but too complicated. Mediation ordered. Neutral room downtown. Liz warned. Don't agree to anything Victor offered. Schedule visits monthly, then holidays, then summers. Elena said we just want to know her love her. Jake said, you had your chance with Noah and blew it. The room exploded. Victor stood, shouting, you Americans think you own everything we created. Her Ella started crying in the hallway. Where Marcus waited, the mediator ended it. Reported breakdown, no. Agreement back to court. Judge Harper ruled. Biological ties acknowledged, but best interests of the child. Paramount. 10 years with loving stable. Parents versus strangers with history of neglect. Fire due to ignored safety. No visitation, no custody. Petition denied termination of any claimed rights. They appealed, flew in more. Lawyers' money, no object. We fundraised GoFundMe. From soccer parents, friends. Church. Ella made a video. Hi, I'm Ella. Please help keep me with my family. It went viral. Donations poured in enough for appeals. Court upheld. Then they went nuclear. Sued in Switzerland, claiming USA kidnapped their citizen. International Hague Convention shit. Liz said this could drag years. Interpol notices travel restrictions on Ella. We couldn't leave the state. The stress. Ella stopped soccer. Anxiety. Attacked school counselor involved. Therapy twice. A week. Jake and I barely slept. Bills piled. Derek found more Elena in clinic for IVF using Ella's DNA. Profile without consent. Trying to clone Noah. Creepy as hell. We reported. FBI got involved. Ethics violations. Clinic shut down. Elena hospitalized. Psych hold that broke them. Victor called Liz one. Night voice. Broken well. Drop everything. The appeals. The suits just let us grieve in peace. Send us updates. Photos maybe when she's 18. She can decide. Liz said sign the termination papers first. They did. Flew back to Geneva. Sold the company. Moved to a small town. Elena in therapy. Victor working remote. Judge Harper signed the final order. Ella Grace, our daughter forever. No claims, no appeals. We cried in the courtroom. Ella hugged. The judge said, thank you, Mom. Harper smiled. First time call me Judge H. We planted a tree in the backyard for Noah, a little birch, white bark like the Alps. Ella wrote a letter. He, Noah, am your sister. Kind of wish we met, but Mom and Dad say you're watching Love. Ella, we buried it under the roots. Watered it together. Max sniffed, approved. Life slowly. Normal soccer resumed. Ella captain now. Friends, sleepovers, laughter. Jake and I renewed vows under the birch. Ella read a poem. Family is who loves you through storms, not just blood. We invited Dr. Patel, Marcus, Liz, Derek, even Judge Harper. Small ceremony. Cake. Max in a bow. Tie 2 years. Later, Ella 13 asked, can I message them just to say hi? We said when you're 16 will help. She nodded. Okay, for now this is home. She scored a hat trick that weekend. Crowd chanting her name. I looked at the birch leaves rustling, thought Noah would be proud we volunteer. Now with adoption agencies pushing better DNA protocols, international standards. No more switches testify in Congress, Jake on panels. Ella speaks to groups kids like her, your not alone family is love. Victor and Elena send Christmas cards, no return address, just a photo. Of the lake where Noah's buried, we keep them in a box for Ella someday. She decides Ella wrote her college essay on it. Switched at birth, but found home one. Scholarship to Stanford. Soccer and journalism double major, she says. Mom, Dad, you taught me. Strength is choosing love every day, and that's our story from war zone to suburbs. From fear to forever, Ella Grace. Our miracle, the one who chose us back.